Have you ever felt like your body is working against you? You eat less, you try to stay disciplined, maybe you even skip meals, and yet somehow the scale still goes up, and then someone jokes, "I gain weight just by drinking water." It sounds ridiculous, but for many people, it feels real. So what's actually happening here? Because let me be very clear, water itself does not cause fat gain. That's a myth. But the conditions inside your body can absolutely make it seem like everything you consume, even water, is leading to weight gain. Here's what's really going on inside your body. Your metabolism is not just about calories. It's about hormones, especially insulin, cortisol, and how your liver manages energy. And one of the most overlooked disruptors of all of this is something most people do every single day without thinking: nighttime eating. Late night eating doesn't just add extra calories. It changes your hormonal rhythm, disrupts fat-burning pathways, and locks your body into fat storage mode, even when you're not eating much overall. And over time, this creates a situation where your body becomes metabolically inflexible. It holds on to water, stores fat more easily, and struggles to burn energy efficiently. In this talk, I'm going to break this down step by step, simply and clearly, like we're standing at a whiteboard together. You'll learn why nighttime eating is so damaging to your metabolism, how hormones, not calories, drive weight gain, why your body holds on to water and fat under stress, and most importantly, what you can actually do to fix it. If this is something you've struggled with, stay with me, because once you understand the root cause, everything starts to make sense. And more importantly, it becomes fixable. Let's start with the foundation, because if you misunderstand this one hormone, nothing else will make sense. Insulin is the real fat storage switch. Here's what's really going on inside your body. Every time you eat, especially carbohydrates or sugar, your body releases insulin. Think of insulin as a storage hormone. Its job is simple: take energy from your bloodstream and store it. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Imagine your body as a house. Glucose, sugar, is like groceries coming in. Insulin is the person putting those groceries away. If the fridge, your glycogen stores, is full, where do the extra groceries go? They go into storage in the form of fat. Now here's where things start to break down for most people. It's not just what you eat, it's how often you eat. If you're eating late at night, especially after dinner, your insulin levels stay elevated far longer than they should. And when insulin is high, your body cannot burn fat. It's biologically blocked. What the research shows is that frequent insulin spikes, especially in the evening, are associated with increased fat storage and reduced metabolic flexibility. Your body becomes stuck in storage mode. And here's the part most people miss. At night, your body is supposed to be doing the opposite. It should be lowering insulin, increasing growth hormone, and shifting into fat burning and repair mode. But when you eat late, you override that entire system. So instead of burning fat while you sleep, you store it, and this creates a compounding effect. Night after night, your body never gets access to its fat stores. Over time, even small amounts of food feel like they cause weight gain. This is why people say things like, "I barely eat, but I still gain weight." It's not about quantity at that point, it's about hormonal timing. So what can you do about it? Here are practical, actionable steps. Create a hard eating cutoff. Aim to stop eating at least 3 to 4 hours before bed. Avoid insulin-spiking foods at night, especially sugar, refined carbs, and even healthy snacks like fruit late at night. Try a simple fasting window. Even a 12 to 14-hour overnight fast can start lowering baseline insulin. Hydrate instead of snack. If you feel hungry late at night, try water with a pinch of salt. Many cravings are electrolyte-related, your circadian rhythm, your internal body clock. Because here's the truth most people never hear. Your metabolism is not the same at 10 a.m. as it is at 10 p.m. Here's what's really going on inside your body. Every organ you have, your liver, pancreas, fat cells, operates on a 24-hour biological rhythm. This is controlled by your circadian clock, which is heavily influenced by light, darkness, and when you eat. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Think of your metabolism like a factory that runs on a schedule. During the day, the factory is fully staffed. Machines are running efficiently. Energy is being used, processed, and burned. At night, the factory shuts down. Lights dim. Workers go home. The system shifts into repair, cleaning, and maintenance mode. Now imagine sending a shipment of raw materials, food, into that factory at midnight. There aren't enough workers to process it properly. So what happens? It gets stored, often as fat. What the research shows is that eating late at night reduces insulin sensitivity. That means your body needs more insulin to handle the same food compared to earlier in the day. And higher insulin means more fat storage. There are also studies in the field of chrononutrition, the science of meal timing, showing that people who eat the same calories late at night gain more weight than those who eat earlier in the day. Same food, same calories, different timing, different outcome. And it gets worse. Late night eating also disrupts melatonin, your sleep hormone, and melatonin directly interferes with insulin function. So when you eat close to bedtime, your body becomes even less capable of handling glucose. This creates a double hit. Poor blood sugar control, increased fat storage over time, leading to weight gain, fatigue, and that frustrating feeling that your metabolism is broken. So what's the solution? You don't need extreme diets, you need better timing. Here's a simple protocol. Front load your calories earlier in the day. Make breakfast or lunch your largest meal. Eat your last meal before sunset if possible, or at least 3 to 4 hours before. Sleep, keep dinner lighter and lower in carbs to reduce insulin demand. Dim lights at night to support melatonin and natural metabolic rhythm. Even shifting your last meal just 1 to 2 hours earlier can start improving insulin sensitivity. This is not about perfection, it's about alignment. When you align your eating with your biology, your body stops fighting you and starts working with you. Now let's talk about an organ that almost no one thinks about when it comes to weight gain: your liver. Because if your liver is not functioning efficiently, fat loss becomes incredibly difficult no matter how little you eat. Here's what's really going on inside your body. Your liver is your primary fat processing organ. It decides whether energy gets burned, stored, or redistributed. During the night when you're not eating, your liver is supposed to switch into fat-burning mode, releasing stored energy to keep your body running. But when you eat late at night, you interrupt that entire process. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Think of your liver like a night shift janitor in a building. All day long, your body creates metabolic mess toxins, excess glucose, damaged cells. At night, the janitor comes in to clean everything up and reset the system. But if you keep throwing trash, meaning food, into the building late at night, the janitor never gets a chance to clean. Over time, the mess piles up. And in your body, that mess often turns into fat, especially in the liver itself. This is how conditions like non-alcoholic fatty liver disease begin to develop even in people who don't drink alcohol. What the research shows is that late-night eating is strongly associated with increased liver fat accumulation and reduced fat oxidation. In simple terms, your body becomes better at storing fat and worse at burning it. And here's the critical part most people miss. When your liver is overloaded, it starts exporting fat into the bloodstream, which then gets stored around your belly and organs, what we call visceral fat. This is the dangerous fat linked to insulin resistance, inflammation, hormonal disruption. So even if your weight isn't dramatically increasing, your metabolic health may be quietly declining. So how do you fix this? You support your liver and you give it time to do its job. Here's a practical protocol. Extend your overnight fast to 14 to 16 hours a few times per week. Avoid late night snacking completely, especially processed or sugary foods. Add bitter foods like arugula, lemon, and green tea to support liver detox pathways. Increase choline-rich foods like eggs, critical for fat transport out of the liver. Stay hydrated with electrolytes to support metabolic function. And one powerful habit: finish your last meal and mentally close the kitchen. No grazing, no exceptions. Stress hormones, especially cortisol. Because sometimes what looks like fat gain is actually your body holding on to water and inflammation due to stress. Here's what's really going on inside your body. Cortisol is your primary stress hormone. It's designed to help you survive, to keep you alert, awake, and ready to respond to danger. But your body doesn't know the difference between real danger and modern stress, like late night screen time, poor sleep, overthinking, or even eating late at night. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Think of cortisol like a backup generator. It turns on when your body thinks it's in an emergency. Now imagine that generator running all night long. That's what happens when you eat late, disrupt your sleep, and keep your body in a stimulated state. Instead of entering deep repair mode, your body stays on alert. And when cortisol is elevated, your blood sugar rises, your body releases more insulin, fat storage increases, especially around the belly, and your kidneys start holding on to sodium and water. This is why you can wake up feeling puffy, bloated, heavier overnight, even though you didn't gain fat that quickly. This is often mistaken as I gain weight from water, but what's actually happening is hormonal water retention. There's a well-established link between chronic stress, elevated cortisol, and fluid retention. Cortisol also interacts with aldosterone, another hormone that regulates salt and water balance, causing your body to hold onto fluid more aggressively. And here's the compounding effect. Late night eating, right arrow; poor sleep, right arrow; higher cortisol, right arrow; more insulin, right arrow; more fat storage, right arrow; more water retention. It becomes a cycle. So how do you break it? You lower cortisol, especially at night. Here's a simple, effective protocol. Create a wind-down routine. 30 to 60 minutes before bed. Reduce stimulation, eliminate late-night eating to allow cortisol to drop naturally, dim lights, and avoid blue light to support melatonin production. Try magnesium glycinate in the evening, supports relaxation and sleep quality. Practice slow breathing. Inhale 4 seconds, exhale 6 to 8 seconds to calm the nervous system. And one powerful shift. Start treating your night like a recovery window, not an extension of your day. Because when cortisol comes down, your body releases excess water, improves insulin sensitivity, and returns to fat-burning mode. Now let's clear up one of the most frustrating and misunderstood parts of this entire conversation: the difference between water retention and actual fat gain. Because if you don't understand this, the scale will constantly mislead you, and you'll feel like your body is broken. Here's what's really going on inside your body. True fat gain is a slow process. It requires a consistent energy surplus over time. You do not gain a kilogram of fat overnight, but water can fluctuate dramatically even within hours. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Think of your body like a sponge. That sponge can absorb or release water depending on what's happening around it: salt levels, hormones, inflammation, and stress. So when you step on the scale in the morning and see a sudden increase, you're not seeing fat, you're seeing your sponge holding more water. And nighttime eating plays a major role in this. When you eat late, especially processed foods, carbs, or salty snacks, several things happen. Insulin rises, which signals your kidneys to retain sodium. Sodium pulls in water, increasing fluid retention. Inflammation increases, especially if the food is processed. Glycogen stores refill, and every gram of glycogen holds about 3 to 4 grams of water, so overnight, your body can hold on to a significant amount of water. This is why you might feel puffy in the face, bloated in the stomach, tight in your clothes, heavier on the scale. But here's the key point. This is not fat. This is a hormonal signal. What the research shows is that fluctuations in insulin and sodium balance can rapidly alter water retention, independent of fat mass. This is especially true in people with insulin resistance. And here's where it becomes dangerous psychologically. People see the scale go up, and they panic. They restrict harder, stress more, sleep worse, which increases cortisol and makes the problem worse. So instead of fixing the root cause, they amplify it. So what should you do instead? Focus on consistency, not daily fluctuations. Here's a simple protocol. Weigh yourself at the same time each day, ideally in the morning, after using the bathroom. Track weekly averages, not daily numbers. Reduce late-night carbs and salty foods. Stay hydrated throughout the day, not just at night. Support electrolyte balance, sodium, potassium, magnesium, and one mindset shift. Don't ask, did I gain weight overnight? Ask, what did my hormones do yesterday? Metabolic inflexibility. This is the condition where your body loses the ability to efficiently switch between burning sugar and burning fat. And when that happens, weight gain starts to feel effortless and fat loss feels nearly impossible. Here's what's really going on inside your body. A healthy metabolism is flexible. It can use glucose when you eat, and then smoothly transition into burning fat when you're not eating, especially overnight. But when you constantly eat, especially late at night, you keep insulin elevated. And when insulin stays high, your body never gets the signal to switch into fat-burning mode. Let me explain this with a simple analogy. Think of your body like a hybrid car. It has a battery mode, glucose burning, and a fuel mode, fat burning. A healthy system switches between the two effortlessly. But if you're constantly feeding it sugar and eating late, you get stuck in battery mode. And eventually the battery becomes inefficient. So now, you rely on constant food for energy, you feel tired when you don't eat, you store fat more easily, and even small meals trigger weight gain signals. That's metabolic inflexibility. What the research shows is that frequent eating patterns, high insulin exposure, and disrupted circadian rhythms are strongly associated with reduced fat oxidation and metabolic dysfunction. And here's the key connection. Late-night eating doesn't just add calories, it trains your body to stay in fat storage mode. So how do you fix metabolic inflexibility? You don't starve yourself, you retrain your metabolism. Here's a practical, structured protocol. Start with a 12-hour fasting window, for example, 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. Gradually extend to 14 to 16 hours. 2 to 3 times per week, prioritize protein and healthy fats to stabilize blood sugar. Reduce refined carbs and sugar, especially at night. Incorporate movement in a fasted state, like walking in the morning, to activate fat burning. Protect your sleep. This is non-negotiable for metabolic repair. And one powerful strategy. Occasionally go to bed slightly hungry, not starving, but not full. That's the signal your body needs to switch into fat-burning mode overnight. So let's bring this all together clearly and simply. You are not gaining fat from drinking water, but you can create a metabolic environment where your body stores more fat, holds onto more water, and struggles to burn energy efficiently. And one of the biggest hidden drivers of that environment is nighttime eating. Here's what we uncovered. When you eat late, you keep insulin elevated, which blocks fat burning. You disrupt your circadian rhythm, making your body less efficient at processing food. You overload your liver, reducing its ability to burn fat overnight. You increase cortisol, which promotes both fat storage and water retention. And you create metabolic inflexibility, where your body becomes stuck in storage mode. So what feels like I gain weight from anything is actually your body responding exactly the way it's been trained to respond. But here's the empowering part. This is not permanent. You can reverse this by changing timing, not just food. Start simple. Finish your last meal 3 to 4 hours before bed. Give your body a consistent overnight. Fasting windows support your sleep and reduce nighttime stress. Focus on hormonal balance, not just calories. You don't need perfection. You need consistency. Because when you align your habits with your biology, your body begins to heal, reset, and function the way it was designed to. So here's your challenge. Pick just one change tonight. Close the kitchen earlier, skip the late night snack, or go to bed slightly hungry and observe how your body responds tomorrow. Track it, feel it, learn from it. That's how real, sustainable transformation happens. And if this added value to your life, if it helped you finally understand what your body has been trying to tell you, like the video and subscribe to join others who are optimizing their health naturally. Because your metabolism is not broken. It's just waiting for the right signals.